Coming up on the latest edition of Tiger 411, we'll see if football could close out their 3-game homestand by picking up their first CAA win of the year when they battled the Stony Brook Seawolves. Last week, our own Ashley Wellington stopped by volleyball practice to get to know the Tigers' star senior, Saitawa Iosia. This is a story that you certainly don't want to miss. Plus, later in the show, we'll be joined in studio by men's golf head coach Brian Yaniger and field hockey head coach Carly Campana. Sit tight, another Tiger 411 begins now. Hello, Tiger Nation, and welcome back into the Towson Sports Network studios for the 5th episode of Season 2 of Tiger 411. I'm your host, Zach Maskovich. This past Saturday, Towson football couldn't wait to get back on the field in front of their home fans and try to get the bad taste out of their mouths that was left behind from the game against Maine 2 weeks ago. The only problem was the Tigers knew that the Stony Brook Seawolves would be no walk in the park as they came into play boasting the top overall defense in the CAA. But we all know that numbers are, well, exactly that, just numbers, and head coach Rob Ambrose and his team wouldn't let numbers intimidate them. The Tigers wrapping up their longest home stretch of the season when they welcomed in the Stony Brook Seawolves. Towson celebrating Pink Day as the team does their part to help raise awareness for breast cancer. No better time to do that than October, which is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that explains the pink socks and accessories. We're going to join the action in the first quarter. The Tigers putting together a nice drive. We see quarterback Connor Frazier hitting his favorite target, Spencer Wilkins, who makes a nice run after the catch for the big gain. Unfortunately for the Tigers, the drive would stop abruptly with a Frazier interception in the red zone. But the Tigers defense stepped up where the offense struggled. Seawolves quarterback Connor Bednarski drops back to pass. The Tigers' James Sims tips it up in the air, and Ty Smith comes down with the huge interception for Towson, and that helps swing the Tigers' field position battle in their favor. The next drive for the Tigers, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a defensive player on the opposing team that has to tackle Darius Victor. Almost impossible to do by yourself. He's showing off his power and balance here after a nice rush for the Tigers. That set the Tigers up with good position for a field goal attempt. In comes Sam Hurwitz, and he splits the 26-yard field goal. That cuts the Seawolves' lead to 4 at 7-3 with 12:50 left to play in the first half. The two teams went into the intermission with the same score. Second half now, Stony Brook putting together a nice drive. Jordan Minette comes off the edge, lays a huge hit on Bednarski for his first sack of the year, and that takes the wind out of the Seawolves' sails as they would be forced to punt just a few plays later. Minette, who started the year as a safety, converted to linebacker, looking like a safety here, drops back in coverage, picks off Bednarski, forcing the Tigers' second turnover of the day and giving Towson a shot late in this game. But the Tiger offense would stall out again, and Stony Brook would get the ball back with 6 minutes remaining, and the Seawolves drained the clock and capped off a 10-play drive with this 2-yard rush from James Kinnear to put Stony Brook up 14-3 with under 2 minutes left to play. But the Tigers would get the ball back with some time on the clock. Last chance for Towson. Connor Frazier takes the snap, looking for Derek Joseph, but he overthrows his intended target, and that would result in a turnover. Stony Brook would just have to take a knee, and that's how this one ends. The Seawolves come into Towson and hand them a 14-3 loss, dropping the Tigers to 2-4 on the year, 0-2 in the CAA. Here's head coach Rob Ambrose and linebacker Jordan Minette after the game.
Considering some of the injuries that they got, some of the injuries that we got, this is like a battle of attrition. And in the end, it's who makes the least amount of mistakes, but it's who makes the least amount of mistakes at critical times. And right now, offensively, we're terrible in the red zone. Terrible. And has nothing to do with the stuff we're doing. It has to do with us not taking care of the smallest details. And that is the difference between winning and losing. Once everything's equal, when you got guys and they got guys and you got players and they got players, the difference between winning and losing is the details. And right now, that's on me. I'm the head coach. We are not detail-oriented on either side of the ball in critical situations, and that is the reason we are not 5-1.
We play hard all throughout the game. Just sometimes things go a different direction. I feel as we're still growing, but as Coach said, we're not paying attention to the details in big and critical situations, and that's what we need to improve on to be a better team.
I'm worried about us getting better. I'm worried about us winning the next play, and those things will build upon themselves for us to have a chance to do that. I'm not thinking anywhere down the line other than trying to win the next play and get these guys better. And right now it's extremely frustrating because I remember where we were coming out of camp, and I'd have told you coming out of camp, to be honest, I didn't know if we could win a game. We were really bad. And I'm impressed with the growth that we've made in all three phases of the game. And I'm grateful for the staff that's got us to the point that we're in these games with a chance to win them. But we need to take care of the smallest details, and we need to do it consistently. And that doesn't happen on game day. That happens tomorrow. It happens on Monday when they have a day off and they go to class, but they want it so bad they come in and watch film on their own. It happens on Tuesday when they study the game plan and the scouting report, and they know these guys to the T, and they don't have to think about the opponent anymore. All they think about is the smallest details. So when the time comes, when it's third and whatever, fourth and whatever, on the goal line or whatever it is, they don't have to think because they already know.
The Tigers now find themselves at the bottom of the CAA standings as they are 0-2 in conference, but that can all change this weekend when the Tigers travel to Harrisonburg, Virginia to take on longtime rival James Madison. The Dukes are coming off a 31-28 road win at previously unbeaten Albany this past weekend and find themselves at 3-3 overall, 1-2 in the CAA. The Dukes' 2 losses in conference have come against Villanova on the road and Delaware in overtime at home. Madison is led by Georgia Tech transfer quarterback Vad Lee, who's a dual threat and a big reason why the Dukes have the second best rushing attack in the CAA, averaging 243 yards per game and an impressive 5.1 yards per carry. Where the Dukes struggle is keeping opponents off the scoreboard. Madison enters this game with the second worst scoring defense in the CAA, giving up 34.8 points per game, so hopefully the Tigers offense can get some points on the board. If you can't make it to Saturday's game in Harrisonburg, don't worry, we will have the game for you live and free right here on the Towson Sports Network. Tune in from wherever you are on your smartphone or tablet as Spiro Marikis and Ron Meehan bring you all of the action. Coverage begins at noon with the Coors Light countdown to kickoff, with the game kicking off at 12:30. While football was the only game at home this past week for the Tigers, it certainly wasn't the only game for Towson. Volleyball traveled up north for 2 big conference games, first against Hofstra and then against Northeastern. On Friday, the Tigers took on one of the hottest teams in the conference in the Pride, and after dropping set 1 28-26, the Tigers rallied back to take the second set 25-23 before they dropped the next 2 sets and the eventual match by a 3-1 margin. The Tigers were led by Haley Pa'akula, who tallied a double-double with 14 kills and 11 digs in the loss. But luckily, the Tigers didn't have to wait long to get back on the court as they battled Northeastern in Boston on Sunday. The Tigers took set 1 25-20, then fell to the Huskies in the second set before rallying back to take sets 3 and 4 to snap a 2-game losing skid by beating Northeastern 3-1. Not only did the skid snap, as I mentioned, the Tigers losing skid, but libero Paige Sakarik set a new career record for digs, passing Stacey Humphrey's previous record, so congratulations to Paige on the big accomplishment. The Tigers also had a big weekend from Saitawa Iosia, who led the team this weekend with 33 kills in 2 matches. Iosia has already garnered a few awards this season, as she was named CAA Offensive Player of the Week last month. She was also featured in Sports Illustrated's Faces in the Crowd. The Towson Sports Network's own Ashley Wellington had a chance to stop by volleyball practice and chat with the Tigers star senior. Ashley, take it away.
If you're ever at a Towson volleyball game, you may hear the crowd cheering stop. They are referring to Saitawa Iosia, who prefers to be called by her full name because of its deep family meaning.
This name is very big in my family, so for me to carry it, I have to carry it. When somebody tells me, would you rather have Sa or Saitawa in the paper, I'd say Saitawa because my full name means a lot to my family, especially my dad. My grandfather, my dad's dad, he gave my grandmother the nickname Sasa. I guess everybody calls me Sa for short for Sasa. It just so happens that Sasa in Samoan means slap. So every time I jump spin or get a kill, and my family's in the crowd, they always yell Sasa, because it means slap in Samoan.
Saitawa Iosia is from California and decided to travel all the way across the country to play volleyball on the East Coast.
Every time I come back here to school to train and for preseason, it's like I always remind myself why I'm here, who am I doing this for, and why I should keep going. Text messages from my mom and dad every morning saying, like, keep your head in school, keep working hard, stuff like that. The love and support really pushes me, but to be all the way out here it's even more like exciting, I feel. Some people think it's like, oh, you don't get homesick. I don't get homesick at all, because for some reason it's just a motivation for me.
But she didn't start her career at Towson. With her coach, Don Metal, she came over from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
I've known Sa for 4 years now. She transferred with me from our other institution, and she's grown over the years into a leadership role. You know, Sa's a special kid, and we have a lot of kids in this program that could be playing at a much higher level, and we're fortunate enough to have them here at Towson and playing in the CAA. So Sa's skill set is second to none, and she can compete not only at the MEAC level, at the CAA level, but she performed well against Alabama in the SEC as well. So she's a special athlete, and we're going to miss her when she graduates, but we're going to fully utilize her while she's here.
If I were to transfer to another school without Coach, I think the transition would have been a lot harder, because I know coming here with Coach, he already knew who I was, how I played, and like what kind of like student athlete I am. So he really helped me with the transition, along with Eric and everybody else.
Good news for Towson fans, the head coach Don Metal and Saitala Iosia are here to stay. Reporting for the Towson Sports Network, I'm Ashley Wellington.
Thanks, Ashley. You can catch Iosia and the Tigers this weekend as they host back-to-back matches in CQ Arena, starting with James Madison on Friday and then William & Mary on Saturday. You can purchase your tickets right here on TowsonTigers.com, or if you can't make it to the match, we'll have live video of the games available for you on the Towson Sports Network. Both matches are set to start at 7 p.m. We have to step aside, take our first break, but when we come back, we'll be joined in studio by men's golf head coach Brian Yanniger, and later in the show, field hockey head coach Carly Campana stops by for a chat. Don't go anywhere. We still have lots of Tiger 411 coming up right after this.
Virtual Wallet can help you be that person who's good with money. See what's free to spend, move money with a slide, save with a shake. Feel good about your decisions.
Brian Vickers, Aaron's sponsored driver. He doesn't just love racing, he lives it.
We got the paper! Woo!
His pit crew follows him everywhere. Oddly, so does his boss.
Right, sign that.
And his passion for racing is rivaled only by his passion for errands.
No credit needed. I'll take it. Woo!
Congrats.
Aaron's makes owning easy through lease ownership, so you can own the life you want.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
Inconceivable!
I'm the king of the world!
Thank you. Very little. I'll have what she's having.
Houston, we have a problem. You talking to me? Earmuffs! Show me the mini! Say hello to my little friend.
Pepsi Mini Cans. Little can, epic satisfaction.
Cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Welcome back to Tiger 411. Joining us now in studio, as we promised before the break, men's golf head coach Brian Yanniger. Coach, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem. Now, you are pretty far into your fall season. You guys only have one more meet coming up, but it's been a lot of traveling for you guys. You guys have been to Navy, even to South Carolina twice. You went out to Colorado, up to Connecticut. Still got to go to Pennsylvania. Right. You guys are racking up the frequent flyer miles, huh?
When you have a good year like we had last year, you have the opportunity to get in great tournaments.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've challenged our guys this year and taken them to tournaments where there have been top 25 teams around every corner. We played at Navy to start, as you mentioned. Then we went to the Ocean Course, which has hosted the Ryder Cup, hosted the PGA, as well Duke and Kentucky and some others were down there while we played. Then we went to Hague Point, which is just a little bit harder than the Ocean Course. So we've been around there. Went to University of Colorado. Colorado's a top 20 team. Went up to Yale, Kennesaw State, who's also top 25 or 30. We've been around.
Yeah, yes, yeah, no question about it. Now, is it good for the guys to spend this much time around the country playing a whole bunch of different courses? I'm assuming that helps their game, getting out there and experiencing different styles of golf.
Well, one of the reasons we do this, and this was not done accidentally. This schedule was intentionally set at different locations in really hard golf courses because we expect to be good. We always expect to be good. And if we reach our expectations and if we win the conference, when we win the conference championship, we don't know where they're going to send us. So we need to be able to play different courses on different kinds of grasses in different locations, and we need to be prepared. We have to have competition against teams so that we're not afraid of seeing top 25 teams. And it's challenged them. We haven't quite gotten to where we want to go, but we're better off for having done it than playing teams that maybe wouldn't challenge us quite as much.
Now, in this fall season, you guys' real season takes place during the spring, where you compete for the conference title, as you mentioned. What are you looking for the team in the fall before we get to the warmer weather of the spring?
We're looking for consistency. I mean, we've had some outstanding rounds, but we've also had some that didn't quite meet expectations. So what we need to do is be able to put them back to back to back to back. And we've had some players who have had good individual rounds, but backed it up with one that maybe wouldn't help us too much in conference championships. So we're really trying to develop consistency. We're working on a lot of specific items. Last week we had a practice where we only had shots from 100 yards in. We didn't go to the tee box. All we did was from 100 yards in to see if we could get a close, try to shoot up under a par 54 golf course. And I believe that helped us, and we're going to do more of that. But we have to have specific practices for specific items to develop consistency. The major difference between the top teams and those that don't quite get there is from 100 yards in.
Yeah.
Everybody can hit the ball great, all these guys, but we have to develop from 100 yards, and so that's where we're focused.
One thing that might help develop your guys' short game and especially help you keep your momentum from the fall season to the spring is, I know that you guys are building an indoor facility for the guys to make sure they stay focused, let's say, from the fall into the spring. Tell me a little bit about the project that's ensuing right now.
Well, this is exciting. We're taking a couple spaces in the Towson Center, and we're building indoor facilities, which will include both putting greens as well as hitting bays. And this will also take advantage of the flight scope that we purchased last year, which allows us to track the ball, to find out if the ball is moving left to right, right to left in an indoor facility, get yardages that they hit the ball. It will make a huge difference. As we had a bunch of snow last year, which made it hard to get your hands on a golf club and practice. So when we went out in the beginning of March, I'm really not sure we were ready. This will help us a lot, and hopefully it'll be ready within the next month. But both the men's team and the women's team will be able to use this facility. We have Southwest Putting Greens, who's known for their indoor facilities doing the work there. So we're excited and can't wait to go.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out when it is all said and done. But getting back to the guys that are playing out there right now, obviously you have to replace guys that were staples of this program, and Joe Gunnerman, Matt Fry. But you've had different guys stepping up almost every tournament so far in the fall. We've seen John Huladay, Sam Stewart, Alex Church, and our new friend from Japan, Minakawa, also stepping up as well. Right. So it's got to make you feel good that you don't have to maybe rely on a Juan Veloza every single week who won the CAA individual title last year. That every guy on the team seems to be stepping up at different times. Obviously, you would like them all to be hitting well at the same time.
Well, it's funny. I've had this conversation recently with Jeff Castle, my assistant, trying to figure out really who are our best 5. And much depends on the course. You know, horses for courses is a common expression. You know, Hiro Minakawa hits the ball straight as an arrow, putts like a demon, but doesn't hit it terribly far. So on a course that's 7,400 yards, he might struggle. Right. We have other guys that hit the ball a mile but aren't quite as precise. So we're trying to figure out who our best 5 are based on the tournament we're going to. We have a little bit of qualifying, but it's a very diverse team in many ways, and golf talent-wise. Yeah. And so what happens is, you know, depending on where we're going, that'll have input into who we take. Well, that definitely has to be a good problem that you're not struggling to. You got too many good players, so that has to make you feel good as a coach. We're headed in the right direction. It's just taking a little while to figure it out, but we'll be all right. All right, Coach. Well, we definitely thank you for taking the time to join us. Good luck in your last tournament at Lehigh, and then we'll talk again before the spring season starts. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. We still have more Tiger 411 coming up on the other side of this break.
So what you got on deck?
Skyfall, Lean In, then some Pinterest. You?
Twitter, Minecraft, and then some Hunger Games. Boom.
Oh, you guys are all set, huh?
Oh, yeah. New Amazon Fire Phone.
It comes with Amazon Prime. Tons of cool stuff for no extra charge.
Really? It comes with Amazon Prime?
Yeah, there's so much to watch.
I've been on this earth 9 years. I've never seen anything like it.
The new Amazon Fire Phone with a full year of Prime included, exclusively on AT&T.
Mariner Finance is a consumer finance company, so we offer personal loans.
Mariner Finance is a great place to work. It's a great thing for anyone with the entrepreneurial spirit.
Everybody in every office has an opportunity to achieve and grow.
Be your own leader. Be a leader amongst the fellow coworkers in your office.
The training and development that we do at Mariner Finance is one-on-one. Someone who has been there, done it, experienced it.
There is no better feeling.
Learn with us.
Grow with us.
Run with us.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
Refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Welcome back to Tiger 411. Joining us now in studio, the head coach of the field hockey team here at Towson, Carly Campana. And Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us here today. And as we look at your team, you guys sit at 2-8 overall right now. I want to go back a little while when you guys beat number 18 American. You fall down 3-0 in that game and then fight back in the second half to win 4-3. I know that had to be thrilling to witness.
It was an amazing thing to witness. I was so happy for the girls and proud of them for coming back, because if you're down the whole 3-0, it can be pretty defeating, but we kept a positive attitude. We knocked one in, and it just kind of opened it up for a retaliation. Yeah, and that has to make you feel so proud, because 3-0 in a field hockey game can be kind of a daunting task to overcome. But you know, like you said, once the first one falls in, your team just kept fighting, and they had the heart to pull it out. Yeah, we have a talented offensive unit, and if they can sneak one through, then you know the rest kind of flows throughout the team, and that motivation and that will to win just truly appears.
And we kind of saw almost the same thing against Longwood in your second win of the season. You guys fall down behind 2-0, and then you score 3 straight in the second half. So it seems like when you guys get the ball to find the back of the net in the second half, sometimes the floodgates can just pour open for you.
It's a great thing to have. It makes us a huge threat to other opponents.
Now we get ready to, you guys will be on the road against Columbia. Then you still have 4 games left at home here in Johnny Unitas Stadium. I know that the next home game is going to be a special one for you when you take on your alma mater in Delaware at 1 o'clock. And fans, we hope that they come out. But is it a special game for you every year when you get to take on your alma mater?
It is. It brings back a lot of feelings. But apparently here at Towson, there's a huge rivalry between Towson and Delaware, which I love.
Yeah.
Because now I'm a Towson Tiger. I'm not a Blue Hen.
No, not anymore.
And I have to cheer for all the Towson teams when we play against Delaware and every other team, but particularly Delaware, because we all want to beat them.
Yeah, no question about it. A player that I want to go back to, Courtney Branco. She's had a good year for you guys so far, named CAA Player of the Week after that game against American that we talked about earlier. Tell me a little bit about Courtney and her style of play.
Courtney uses her speed to her advantage when she has the ball, so she can shoot right down to the field and make something happen.
But Courtney's not the only goal scorer you have on the team. You guys have gotten multiple goals from a bunch of different players, so it has to be good for you knowing that when you guys do score goals, you don't have to rely solely on Courtney, that she has a supporting cast around her that can also find the back of the net.
Yeah, everyone on our team is more than capable of scoring. It's just finding the right spot at the right time and making the appropriate cuts and being able to ball handle and working together in your unit. We actually have a lot of forwards right now on our team, and we do a lot of rotation, so it does make us a threat when she's not in, particularly because anyone on that line can score.
Now, as we look at the defensive side of the field for you, a stat that I know that coaches don't really like to know too much is when their goalie is leading the conference in saves or something, because that means that they're facing a lot of shots, which can be bad. But it is good when the goalie is making those saves. Mm-hmm. And right now you've had to play 2 goalies because of injury, but they've both made the saves when they're in there.
Yeah, Megan Boyle has really stepped up her game. She's really taken ownership of the circle and has made some incredible saves for us. So we're really very excited about her progress. And Emily's right behind her. They both have different strengths and different weaknesses, and they keep pushing each other to build upon the strengths and to eliminate those weaknesses that they have. And they're a great team, the both of them.
And I don't want to talk for your assistant, Christina Armour, but being a former goalie that she was here at Towson, it has to make her happy knowing that if the ball does get past the line of defense, that the goalies are in there and they're absorbing the shots a little bit.
She's been outstanding this year and last year as well, but she really embraces her role with the goalkeepers, and she takes it very personally when a goal is scored. And,
yeah.
So she's really intense, and she's really helping us.
All right, Coach. Well, we thank you very much for taking the time to stop up here and join us, and we wish you luck against Columbia and then when you come back home against Delaware.
Thank you.
All right, don't go anywhere. We still have more Tiger 411 on the other side of this break.
Virtual Wallet can help you be that person who's good with money. See what's free to spend, move money with a slide, save with a shake. Feel good about your decisions.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packages of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
Welcome back to Tiger 411. I'm your host, Zach Maskovich. Unfortunately, we're almost out of time on this edition of Tiger 411, but before we go, let's take a look at all the action going on in Tiger Town this week. That's going to do it for this episode of Tiger 411. Don't forget to check back the same time next week for the latest episode, or you can always watch on demand at TowsonSportsNetwork.tv. Be sure to check TowsonSportsNetwork.tv for the latest edition of the Tiger Football Report, which is available every Friday morning as Spiro Marikis chats with the head coach of the Tigers football team, Rob Ambrose, about the team's previous game and the next opponent up for the Tigers. For the latest news on the Tigers, be sure to follow them on Twitter at Towson Tigers, and while you're at it, you can give me a follow at Zach Maskovich. A special thanks to Brian Yandiger and Carly Campana for stopping by the studio. Once again, I'm Zach Maskovich. Thanks for watching, and until next week, go Tigers!